Greetings, good people. Welcome back to another session of Leaders and Learners, where we all know that the best leaders are lifetime learners. You keep telling yourself a spa day is a luxury. Well, that's it sometimes, but it's something you earn after the chaos. That's what you tell yourself. The rest is the reward, not the strategy, right? If you think you only deserve luxury and to be treated well, sometimes we need to talk. The wellness industry, I don't know if you guys know this, but the wellness industry is now worth over $5 trillion globally. But listen, sleep deprivation, it costs the US economy roughly $411 billion a year in lost productivity. Chronic stress is one of the top drivers of cardiovascular disease, immune dysfunction, and skin deterioration. Your body has been trying to tell you something for so long. The receipts, they're long. And the wellness that you need is probably overdue. My guest today opened their first urban day spa in California in 1984. Before wellness was a hashtag, because you see it all the time, self-care this and self-care that, the marketing strategy. Before the algorithm decided that it was a thing, they knew that it needed to happen. They built Burke Williams when people still had to be convinced that massage was actually medicine. Spoiler alert, it always was. Bill and Theresa, oh, I love them already. They're co-founders of Burke Williams Day Spa, the creator of the H2V skincare line, and one of the most understated pioneers in the preventative wellness space. Preventative, right? Not reactive. They've been building what your doctor is now recommending. And they have the receipts today to back it up and a story that you are going to love. So welcome, Bill and Theresa. Hi.
Hi, Tanya.
That's quite the introduction. Thank you.
Right. You've sure done your homework.
Absolutely. Because it has been such a faux pas that you have to earn your right to go to a spa, that it has to be something special. But the truth of the matter is, we have not put enough time and resources into preventative medicine. And what you guys do is definitely that. So again, I just want to applaud the work that you guys have been doing. And how is it that you came up with Burke Williams? And how is it working together?
You start.
Okay, well,
she tells a better story.
No, well, we'll tell the story together because we really did it together and we've done it together. You know, we're both actually Northern California kids. And when we were younger, we'd sneak into Esalen. I don't know if that's okay to say. But, you know, those hippies, all those hippies understood the value of mineral waters. And we got married, we were young in the 80s. And so we would drive our car up to Calistoga. And they had not only mineral baths, but they had mud baths. They had Dr. Wilkinson's house. And it was funky. It was kind of what only hippies still believed in the 80s. But we started understanding, because we were doing it, the benefits of it. But my husband was running another business.
I was business background, barely got out of high school, but went in early to business and formed a couple of companies. And part of our lifestyle was to go to resort spas around the country and the world. And always we incorporated massage into that experience. And it was the only place that you could get a legitimate professional massage. In town, it was all prostitution. So the idea just came about that, why don't we take what everybody wants and make it accessible? So during that era, you're absolutely right. It was luxury, it was pampering, it was, you know, those were the kind of the bellwether words of massage. And so the road to get a massage business open in California was fraught with having to battle the image of prostitution and deal with the police department and be fingerprinted and mugshotted and the wonderment in the eyes of the police as to what we were actually doing was comical at the time to us, but real. And then landlords who wanted nothing to do with putting a massage business in their building. We must have talked to 40 different landlords, letting them know what we were going to or wanted to do, and we were turned down every time. So the road to get to where we opened our first location was really an interesting road, fraught with a lot of challenges, but we overcame them. And one thing led to another, and eventually here we are today, 40 years later, but with a different mindset, completely different mindset than what we had when we opened the first Burke Williams.
Tanya, it was funny because in 1984, the legislature had what was called the Health Consumer Protection Act. And this is what we're up against, because its aim was to protect the public from, and this is what they said, from fraudulent, misleading, unscrupulous, and deceptive practices in the health spa industry. And, that really was the reality. As my husband was looking and doing all the research for it, it was red light, it was back alley, but we knew something different. And what was happening in our lives is we were having children and more children and more children. And after a lot of babies, it really became clear that I wanted something. I wanted something where I could relax and I could get away for just a little bit of time. It's what you're saying. It was no longer a luxury. It was a necessity. And I knew I needed a break. So we decided we wanted to start this thing in the city, where we were thinking of women, mostly moms or working women, who were so overwhelmed that they could get away but not go far away, because you can't travel far when you've got lots of kids. So eventually we did get to open one, and that was in Brentwood, California.
So Contra Costa County is very special to me. Me and my husband bought our first home in Contra Costa County in Oakley, California, and then our next one was in Brentwood, over by the golf course. Mm-hmm. But Burke Williams has always been a standard. So, how often do you go back out there? To
go back out where?
To Brentwood. You guys aren't still in Brentwood, are you?
Our home office, our corporate office is in Inglewood. So we're still Southern California based. So okay. I grew up, by the way, in Contra Costa County too. So.
You're talking about Brentwood in Southern California?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. So we opened our first one in Southern California, in the Los Angeles area, in Brentwood, upscale area. We knew that's where we needed to be. And that was the launching point.
Right. And we really had to redefine what a spa was for the public and kind of re-educate. I remember inviting the preschool parents for an opening night, and a spa, do you have to take off your clothes? They really were horrified at the whole idea, but we made it as clear and clean as we could. And every room had its own hot tub and cold plunge. Every room, we were really keeping it very, very separate. And we were fortunate because one of we had this great guru of massage, and one of the therapists that we had, his father was some big radio personality and wanted him to have a job. So he announced on the radio, it was KABC or something.
KABC, Ken Minyard.
And he said, go to this new place. It's this new idea. And boy, people came in, they heard and they went. And what they discovered was they walked in one way and walked out another way. And we were so clear that we had something good on our hands.
Yeah, we really started it on a shoestring from the business side of things. We put everything we had into it, and we didn't realize, but we knew going into it, we'd have no advertising budget. So the entirety of the growth of the company for the first almost 25 years was built on word of mouth. I remember sitting our massage therapist down we started out with 6 of them. Now we have 800, but we started out with 6 of them and said, I don't have any money to advertise, so it's going to be up to you to do the best you can do to bring your guests back and spread the word. And it spread like wildfire. And so we launched it, and we were fully booked within probably the first 3 months. So it was.
Bill, where are you from in Contra Costa?
I grew up in a couple of places: Danville,
Yeah.
in Walnut Creek, and in Martinez. We kind of moved around a lot, but yeah.
Okay. So I had that mixed up. And that's the funny thing, that they have a Brentwood in Northern California and a Brentwood in Southern California. So when I had
Right.
my son's baby shower in Brentwood in the Bay Area, they thought it
Okay.
was Brentwood in LA. And people were like, we can't find the address.
Oh no.
We can't find it. And I was like, girl, just send it. You're a little behind now.
You're fine. Just send the present. We're good.
You're not gonna make it, but we'll have fun without you. I love that. And it's funny you say you started on a shoestring budget, because the wellness industry is now a $5 trillion global space. Hello. And you guys
Yeah.
have played a very big part in that, in my opinion. Now, I could be wrong, but I doubt it. So I would love to know how you feel about people's understanding of Burke Williams and how it became the blueprint for an entire category that's now talked about in like boardrooms and doctors' charts, because it's a necessity.
Right. One of the things that was really important to us, because we did start it on a shoestring, we were broke, we were young. And when you have that going for you, you kind of go out into the world without a lot of, what's the word, respect from other people. And it was very interesting. What was really clear to us is that was exactly what we wanted to give other people. It wasn't starting an industry that was important to us, though we knew we were starting something new. It was really offering people this philosophy that we had, which was, it's not a luxury and it's not for the elite. It's for everybody. Everybody needs this. The secretary, the housewife, the working woman, the boardroom person, everybody needs this, and it's important. And it's, you're welcomed into our space because it's holistic, and every single human needs to kind of understand the power of that.
Yeah, I think what Teresa's saying is that we were adamant about making it accessible, that this was not an elite place that, that confined to a few people, but it was something that we wanted to put out into the community so that we could make an impact on people's lives. And that was the idea from the beginning. So, it's grown in a lot of different ways. And I remember, just as a side note, I remember thinking when I started the business, all right, this has got a 3-year, 4-year run, and I'm going to, build it, sell it, and move on. But as the business matured and we matured, we both realized that what we were doing in our communities was making this impact that was so much more tangible than making a gadget or something like that. We were actually touching people's lives. But even more importantly, I think to both of us, was that we were touching our employees' lives. And that resonated because we still have people that were with us on day one, 40 years later, that are still working with us. And we've watched them, come in as teenagers, and now they've got families and homes and sending children to college. And so the reward is certainly to the community, or we get it from the community, but from our employees too. It's been a blessed journey.
That's amazing. Man, it feels like you started with an idea and it has become much bigger than you anticipated. Walk me through how your mindset changes. And I want you to do it so that people that are now in this moment looking to start something new understand how to scale, how your mindset changes as you realize this isn't just for the moment, it's for the future.
Wow. Gosh. Well, I think the first thing was, it was very self-serving when we started. We wanted it because we knew the benefits of it. And so it was self-serving. It became so clear so quickly how good it was for everyone. So I think that was one of the first things we did. And as Bill said, it was not just for our guests, it was for our employees. And they had meaning to their work. What we realize is there's a personality with massage therapists. They're healers, and they take their jobs very, very seriously, and they know the body and they know the benefits. All the things you talked about at the beginning, Tanya, of lowering your blood pressure and increasing your circulation and improving sleep and raising your serotonin levels and your dopamine and lowering your cortisol. All of that, you get rid of anxiety, you get rid of depression. That was so apparent, and these healers knew it. Our facials were also very, very important to us because they went from feel good to really active. Because as we grew, as I aged, as I had a daughter and she aged, right? She had acne, I was aging. We wanted a very active skincare line. So in the midst of all that, we were moving from location to location to location because we were building and people wanted to come to these different places. For us personally, one of the parts of our growth was people wanted to buy us out and we didn't want to do it. We wanted to keep doing what we were doing because it mattered to us. And we also never went out of California because we wanted to stay together and raise our family and be home by dinner. So anywhere in California, we could fly home and be together with both of us working. So that was important in our lives. And we've stuck to that.
Yeah. Yeah. And going back again to your question about, starting something with one thing in mind and seeing it and touching it, watching it grow into something different. I think there are two underlying things for me personally that I try and monitor. And one is to don't be afraid to take a step. That innovation and to innovate, to be ahead of the curve requires motion. And so it's really about stepping into things that nobody else has done or that you want to do better. And so the other thing that we try and really live by is adaptation. The world changes. The spa world has changed. It is an upside down world from zero to where it is today. And so we continually adapt. We're blessed with an amazing core team of people who have the same mindset. So we sit every 2 weeks and just brainstorm new ideas and what directions and where can we go, and nothing is off the table. So those are the kind of discussions, but it really is about taking a step and then being willing to adapt.
Yeah, I love that. Being agile. And like we've talked about, modern research now connects regular massage and deep relaxation to measurable improvements in your cortisol, in your sleep, in your blood pressure, immune functions. I bring that up because when you were designing Burke Williams, the experience in 80s and 90s, were you working from a science perspective or just instinct? And how has that science now that's catching up to your work, how do you talk about it differently? And I'm asking because also this, as a woman of color, I know that I can't put everything on my face, right? And that was one of the hindrances for me in going to a spa the first time and getting a facial, because I'm like, well, I don't know if they can, what they put on my skin will work for me, and I'm going to break out, but I really want that relaxation and the feel good, but I also don't want to be broke out when I leave. That's the sacrifice you might have to make. Were you working from a place where the science was also important to you, or did that catch up? And how do you talk about it? Like what gives you insight to be able to make it applicable to everybody?
I think it's a combination of real science and insight and intuition. I know that, as I said, we had the guru of massage, and he knew the benefits, and he would teach us, and all of his students knew the benefits. With our skincare, it's scientific. And so we definitely have utilized that. And there's no doubt that we know the science. We know that this is an ancient practice as well as a modern practice, but there's intuition too. I mean, it's really interesting because we were the only show in town for so long. People have copied almost everything we've done, from quiet rooms. Those didn't exist. And it was my need saying, I don't want to go home yet. There are dirty dishes. There are dirty diapers. I can't go home. And my husband saying, well, we're not making money if we're not getting new people on the table. So we created a room where people could just sit and be quiet. And that was a need. But what we found is people love a quiet room, right? Mm-hmm. People also like to be social. People like connection. So we have jacuzzis, different jacuzzis. Some are quiet, very zen. Some are really social places because there's celebrations going on. By living what we've lived over 40 years, people come in and we pay attention to what they want, what they need, and it differs. So some people are celebrating, some people are mourning, some people are exhausted, some people need a sports massage. And so we get the finest people we can get to actually care about that, listen to that, and move forward with that, with really caring about, your whole subject, leaders and learners. Great leaders are learners because they're listening. And I think especially in a social situation with people and wellness, you have to pay attention. What are their needs? So women of color do have different needs for their skin. They do. And we need to know that. And we need to move forward with that scientifically so that we're actually helping people, right? And we have. And so it's great. That's why I would love for you to come in. And I think you'll love it. But we're also very spiritual. I have to put that. So we talk about intuition, but it's so funny. We were traveling recently and went to a spa, and they had the chimes at the end of the spa. Now that's what we've done, and everyone copies us. But I don't think they know why they have chimes. And it was funny. I wanted to say to the therapist, "Why are you doing that?" Because I think she had no idea. But why we do it? It's for consciousness. It's for awareness. So when the therapist, anybody is working on someone, you ring those chimes before you start. And what happens is gratitude enters you. And as soon as you're grateful, you can't have negative thoughts, right? So you're grateful you have a job. You're grateful you have a person on your table. You're grateful you have a skill. And the person receiving feels all of that. And something different is transmitted as that's happening. And then you ring them when they're off the table. It's like, thank you. I got to do this thing for myself, for someone else. The world's a better place. They go out into the world better, calmer, nicer, gentler. And what an impact they've made.
Yeah, I think it's obvious that in skincare, science is continually developing new formulas, new techniques, etc. But in a more subtle way, it still happens with massage therapy, and if nothing else, it comes from a deeper understanding of what the benefits are of massage. But new modalities in massage are continually developing and I think that is somewhat scientific and somewhat intuitive. We opened our own academy of massage therapy, so we train our own massage therapists and elevate them in terms of their skill set. So they come to us at one level, but we're passionate about staying abreast of what is new, what is happening. Is it valid? Because there's so many trends out there that we keep an arm's length, and understand that it's a trend. There are other things that are substantial. And so we bring those into our academy and teach in-depth courses like lymphatic drainage and, those kinds of modalities. So yes, you're right. We started out, we were hedonists. I was anyway. It was just, I wanted a massage. Wow, now I can go and get a massage every day. And this is my life. This is pretty good. But
not too bad. Not too bad.
Yeah. So it's turned into something different. But
you talked about trends. I'm so glad you said that, because your H2V has treated over 5 million faces, if I'm correct. And this is a great body of work, okay? But I want you to walk me through the philosophy behind H2V, specifically why skin barrier repair, inflammation reduction, and long-term hydration were priorities over quick fixes and trends. Because trends, they come and go, and sometimes they take your skin with you. Like what hair trends, skin trends. But talk to me about H2V.
I think one of the most important things is, as we talk about wellness and people understand the benefits of actually taking care of their bodies regularly, they've also learned that that's important for their skin. So they're not looking for quick fixes. What they're looking for is restoration and long-term results. And so with the science that we've worked with scientists very deeply on this, and younger consumers are actually more informed and more intentional than, I don't know, than people have ever been before. But what H2V does, and I think does very, very well, is we've developed it with our estheticians. So the estheticians are every day in the room, and that's, you talk about the 5 million facials. We do 40,000 facials. We see 40,000 people a month. And so they're in the room. And so they see what works and they see what doesn't work. So as we reformulate over the years, we realize, okay, we have these experts. Now, when we talk about massage therapists being healers, it's a very different person who's an esthetician. These people are scientific and they're ambitious and they want results. They're just unbelievable people. And so what we've done by inviting our guests into the room, our estheticians create a relationship with them. So there's trust and there's consistency and there's personalization, which is, I think, what the younger generation really wants, is personalization. I mean, because the trends can be iffy. We've seen a lot of people come into us where they've had some of these new treatments and it has not worked out well for their skin. And so we need to repair what's happened. But this one-on-one relationship is combined actually with consistent home care. And it's a routine where there are lasting changes. So even if someone did want to go for something different, maybe surgical later, you still want great skin when you do it.
Yep, absolutely. Let me ask you this though. You, which I love, and I haven't gotten into your personal business yet, but I'm going to take a dive
Okay,
because you
go.
named your company after your son, right? You named your spa treatments after other children, and the
Correct.
whole brand is built around family. So,
Correct.
in an industry that is led by venture capital and private equity now, so what gets lost when wellness stops being personalized?
Oh, a lot.
Talk to me
When
about that.
you're Well, I think in any business, you see it in the restaurant business, you see it in the hotel business, that small venues start out with an idea, with a passion, and they grow and they become successful because of that passion and ingenuity, and then they sell and they're bought out by, there's nothing wrong with this. It's capital at work, but they're bought out, and what becomes more important than that relationship to excellence is the relationship to the bottom line, the spreadsheet. And so corners are cut, costs are cut, et cetera, et cetera. And in the end, the consumer pays that, from multiple perspectives. So we started as a family business. You're right. We named the company after our son. He was just a funny little story. We had the idea. We started the idea, and we didn't know what to name it because we knew we were up against the prostitution issue and all of that. And we thought, how are we going to let people know that no, this is professional, this is legitimate? And so we were driving along, and we had our 2-year-old firstborn son in the back seat, and we both turned around almost simultaneously and looked at him and said, let's name it after him. So what that brought was this sense of family, of purity to an industry that really didn't have that. And so in talking actually with the police department when they were investigating whether or not we were going to be legitimate or not, we shared with them, we named it after our 2-year-old. And, so we had family origins, family roots. That family sense has stayed with us, and it's been imperative for us to run the business like a family. I think, like I said, we have people who have been here 40 years. Our longevity is truly astounding. Our spa managers, we have 10 of them, have been at a minimum with the company 20 years, and they've grown up through the company. And so the idea of family is is a cornerstone to the decisions that we make. Sometimes it might cost us a little bit of bottom line revenue, but at the end of the day, I think it has given us longevity and traction in a field where you can quickly lose that if you pay attention to bottom line only.
Y'all work together, and it feels like y'all still like each other. I've been married over 25 years. Am I getting this wrong? Am I reading the room wrong? Help me. Help me out.
We're actors. No.
Right, we're not really Bill and Theresa Armour. Tanya, it's so funny. It's so funny. You know, here's the thing. We met, I was 16 years old, and I fell in love with this guy. And he's a little bit older man.
She has blinders on, but
and we love working together. But a lot of people have asked us this question. We know our lanes. We stay in our own lanes at work. And he is a brilliant business mind. And I look at a spreadsheet and I want to throw up. I hate it, right? But I love beauty and I love the sensuality of the services. And so the creativity, whoa, I go wild on that part. And so we respect what the other one does and listen and care. We always have so much to talk about. And it just
I think
feeds us.
Yeah, we had an agreement, or I don't know, maybe unstated, but we're not competitors. We don't compete. We try and build and work with each other. And so, like she said, she's got amazing taste. All of the beauty that you see in the locations in terms of the color and the palettes, and how's that for words I shouldn't even know. But that's what she does. It's amazing. She's good at that. I'm fair at other things, so we just kind of work our way through it.
Well, kudos and God bless you both, because marriage is not easy, and being able to build a family and a business is just wonderful. So congratulations on that. I want you to give me one thing people consistently get wrong about taking care of their own skin and their own body. And why does it take a spa visit for them to wake up?
Ooh, I know.
You go first.
Go ahead.
Well, I think what they consistently get wrong is they listen to advertisement. The marketing campaigns of products that come on are so sophisticated now and so fraught with misguided information, we'll say, to be kind. But so you go in buying a product that you saw somebody on TV transformed, and it's TV. So, you could take it home and it's like, well, that didn't work. And when you come to a spa, you're under the touch and the hands of a professional. And for us, we take that extremely seriously. So somebody is actually spending time with you because your skin is not the same as her skin. And I'm now going into waters that I shouldn't even be talking about, but that's really, I think, a key component. People make the mistake of being sucked in by sophisticated marketing.
I think that's true. And I would add just one thing, Tanya, is that along with having your body healed, which really, really happens, your soul heals at the same time. And it's really easy. And life is so busy. We're in a world that moves so quickly that when you can be in a quiet place, it's rare and it's incredibly powerful. It's powerful emotionally and spiritually, intellectually, and physically. And so all of those things get to come together in this one setting. And it's amazing.
Thank you for sharing that. Let the people know how they can stay in touch with you all, how they can continue to follow your journey, because y'all ain't going nowhere. So, they need to tap in. Let the people know how they tap in, get connected, and come visit one of your miraculously wonderful spas.
Well, let me just throw this plug in because that's what we do, or what I do anyway. Mother's Day is coming up, and
Hey,
there is no better way to say thank you to a mother, to your mom, than giving her this moment to relax and truly indulge herself and her senses. And so I would strongly encourage your listeners to consider this as a Mother's Day gift. Yes, it helps us, but truly it helps the community. It helps families. It's um, it's it's an amazing gift, and we've seen the results of it over 40 years.
Right. And along with her getting everything she would need, there's connection. There's connection. And that's something else we're missing in our culture. So go to burkewilliams.com or Instagram, Burke _ Williams. So that would also be good. I just want to say one more thing that's interesting about what we've done. I don't know if we have time, Tanya, but we've started a philanthropic foundation, and it's called the Blue Heart Warriors. And because massage used to always be about prostitution, there's still an underbelly, and we've decided we are so pure and we want to fight that. We want to prevent that. Every single massage that's given, we take a portion of it and we donate it to this foundation that fights and prevents human trafficking. It's called the Blue Heart Warriors, and we celebrate it kind of in a large way twice a year, both in July and January. That's Anti-Trafficking Month. But it's important for people to know how we give back to our society.
Well, it's also important for them to know that they don't have to do anything, but for every dollar they spend at Burke Williams, a portion of those proceeds are going to this foundation to prevent young people from being, captured. And yeah, it's a terrible, terrible thing. But
right. So they're doing good.
Yeah.
The therapist is doing good. Just by getting a massage, you're helping the world.
I love that. Well, thank you guys so much for being here. I'll make sure that all of that information is in the captions and in the notes, show notes, so people can definitely find a way to celebrate their mothers. And if you don't have one, celebrate the woman in your life, the sister, the grandma, the mentor, the teacher, the counselor, because there's so many people that have contributed to your greatness, and they deserve a little
well said.
care of. Yes. Yes.
Well
so thank
said,
you
Tanya.
guys so much for being here.
Thanks,
Thank you for the
Tanya.
opportunity. It was a pleasure.
It was really, really nice to meet you.
Absolutely. Listen, here's what I need you all to know. Bill and Theresa, they did not build a spa. Some people, it's okay, it's a location, but they didn't just build a spa. They built an argument from a PR perspective. It's an argument that your body deserves as much strategy as your career, as your home life, as all of your other duties. That your skin is not a vanity project. It's your largest organ, and it is keeping receipts on everything that you do, everything that you eat. Every night you do not sleep. Every day you push through instead of pausing, instead of getting your rest. When I was eating bad, my jawline broke out, and getting my facial and working with my esthetician, I learned that, girl, you can't be eating all these greasy foods because it will show up here. It will. Burke Williams was the physical proof of that argument. And they started in the 80s. Hello. So what they've been preaching has now become a $1 billion industry, but they did it with heart. H2V is the at-home continuation of that proof in 2025. The longevity of it. Y'all know companies don't be sticking around that long. And Theresa and Bill, but I love the ladies. They've held it down for a long time with conviction and dedication without waiting for permission. So this is what controlling the narrative looks like. This is what Leaders and Learners is all about. So make sure you press play on this, you share it with someone else, and you treat a woman in your life right on Mother's Day. All right, guys, make sure you get all the information in the notes, and we will see you next time. Bye.